Huh? Hello? My name is Suchý, and I would like to report to you current state of the Copr build service. Is here by any chance somebody who never heard and doesn't know what Copr is? Okay, so just one. So very briefly, Copr is build service separate to the Koji, which we use for offer us service for building packages which are not part of Fedora yet or never will be. The work on that started 4 years ago, but in the terms of discussion, and actual work started a year ago, and we had with one fast prototype, and then I joined as a full-time worker on that, and I reconsider using Koji and OBS. None of them was choice at the end. Koji because it was quite complicated, and we wanted something with simple user interface and no manual maintenance. So user can create their own projects automatically, build YAML repositories automatically, etc. OBS, on the other hand, was exactly for this purpose made, but use other script for building packages. It was the build script, and we use mock, so there was the fear that the result may be different than the results from the Koji we use for the Fedora. So we continue to use our own prototype. And in December, we opened to the public service. Since then, there is 1,300 projects on Copr. From that, 400 projects were active for the last 2 months. We built 25,000 builds. We store 255 gigabytes of data, packages and repositories, which means 30% utilization of our current disk storage. And we send 1 terabyte of data to our user every month. So that's Copr in numbers. But we had some problems. Surprisingly, there was a very few problems on legal side, because the Copr is very open, and there is very few requirements to build your package in a Copr. So I personally expect that we will get some patent problematic packages, and people will try to build it. There was some cases in the beginning, in the first 1 or 2 months, but people quickly learned that they still couldn't build their the stuff with MP3, etc. So since February or March, I didn't see any problematic project through the legal. So that's quite a surprise. On the other hand, we had quite a problems with OpenStack. We use OpenStack for bringing up virtual machines where we build a package. So if we have some requests in the queue, we build package, we spin up virtual machine, submit the source, download the source RPM on that builder, build that package, fetch the results, and we terminate that virtual machine. So that means we literally spin up 25,000 virtual machine for the last 7 months. We use in Fedora infrastructure quite outdated OpenStack instance, and it has sometimes its days. I would say it's woman, and sometimes on Irma arrive. So 2 weeks ago, for example, I had problems when I have 70 failures to spin up virtual machine in 1 hour. But when we somehow fix it, of course manually, then we have for 1 or 2 weeks when it behaves nicely, but then on Irma arrive again. So it gives us a lot of manual work to do, and we have no much so time as we would like for the development. We experienced some problems with the underlying tools as well. For example, in the past, mock chain used create repo, so we migrate to create repo, which is much faster. On the other hand, we discovered new bugs which was not visible previously, because usually run create repo only once or then after hour, while we run it parallel, I would say, sometimes massively parallel. So we discovered some problem with the logs, or even we have some weird bugs which was caused by create repo C, and it caused massive consumption of RAMs, memory, and it consumed all the memories in our Copr backend machine, which have 16 gigabytes of memory. And suddenly we experience out of memory killer, which killed most of the processes, and we have to reset that machine. And it takes some time before we discovered that create repo C is in fault. Fortunately, the machine job resolved it pretty quick. The different problem is mock. That's the chapter for its own. Well, we use mock in our core service, and the Copr is only as good as mock is. Well, I quickly discovered that mock is not our priority, well, I would say in the past, despite the fact that we use it every day in Koji, in Copr, and every other users. Clark Williams, who is maintainer of the mock, primarily works on real-time kernel and doesn't have so much time on that. So I offered my help on that, and in the past 6 months I resolved and closed several bugs, reported, and introduced some new features. For example, now the mock check the GPG keys of the packages which installed in build root. That was not true in the past. Coincidentally, at the same time, Michal Šimáček, who's just there, applied for the Google Summer of Code, and is working on an enhancement on the mock. I just this week applied 30 of his commits, and another 100 is waiting in my inbox to be applied. So you can expect big changes in mock in upcoming days. Namely, the feature he works mostly on in mock is LVM caching of the build routes. Right now, if mock create build route, it create cache of that build route and pack it into tar.gz file, store it somewhere in the file system, and if you need build route which is the same as the cached one, the tar.gz file is unpacked into the directory and used, and it takes some time. Michal worked on LVM plugin which will install the build route into LVM volume and then create snapshot, store the snapshot of the LVM volume, and then restore from the snapshot, which is pretty fast operation. Radek Holly from packaging team should be working on Red Hat Subscription Manager integration and then on Docker integration. So hopefully mock will be able to produce Docker images or Docker files. You'll see.
What's a Red Hat Subscription Manager got to do with it?
Well, if you want, currently you have the config files for the Fedora, Rawhide 2019, and Apple, which is in fact CentOS plus EPO. But if you want to build packages against Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you have no such choices. There is already support for the Red Hat Satellite and RHN Classic. So you somehow have to download the bits from RHN. And how you do that? You have to have RHN client tools and have the password there, or with RHS and the certificate, and somehow get it into the root. So it's a little bit tricky. Need to be supported somehow in the code. So RHS SM is still missing. The old satellite RHN Classic is there, but non-documented. So this should go there. Okay. Existence of Copr allow other projects to grow. Mostly we allow a lot of projects use Copr for nightly builds or for the test days. For example, OpenStack uses it for test days. So the developers present packages, and user can test them, and during the test days they immediately build the fixed package and ask the users if this fixes their problems, which is much better than asking them, okay, the fix land in the master, please build a package, because most of the user doesn't know if you use makefile, if you use scan, sconce, and or other tools, and how to build a package. It allows to grow, for example, kernel playground, where the kernel lands in the Copr before it lands to Fedora, so you can play with it. Some other one-shot projects, like one guy built kernel with multi-path TCP support there. I know that Richard Huge and Dan Vratil will use it for building new GNOME and new KDE before it lands to Fedora, and a lot of people is testing it. So hopefully this means better quality to packages in Fedora Rawhide in the end. It allowed to grow software collection. Rami is building there a lot of packages for PHP collection, and we build their upstream packages for Red Hat software collection, and we build softwarecollection.org on that. it syncs the packages from via Copr API calls from Copr, and it's upstream for the software collection where you should get a list of all software collection available. With the Fedora Next, the environment and stack working group want to present a new thing which is called Fedora Playground for the packages which want to go to Fedora but is not there yet. And we somehow agreed that the Fedora Playground will be the end, just a subset of projects from the Copr. So you, and the process is not finished yet, but it will be something like you want your project in Fedora Playground, so you go to environment and stack working group and ask them, please, I want my project in Fedora Playground. They will do some review, which should be much easier than package review for the Fedora. Say, okay, this looks nice, and include your project in the Fedora Playground. Technically, it means they just stick some checkbox in administrative interface of Copr. And we have a plugin for DNF which enable, and you write just DNF Playground enable all those projects in the Playground. This is not finished, so there can be some flaws right now and should be announced separately by and stack working group. And of course, presenting new packages which doesn't meet Fedora guidelines, Fedora packaging guidelines exercise our legal and goals. And we've seen in past that open and libre is not always the synonym, and sometimes they were quite orthogonal because there were packages which were free as a beer and can be redistributable, but we have only tar file, so can we allow that in Copr or not? So I've seen a lot of discussion what should be the goal of the Copr and the outer ring around the Fedora. Integration. I integrated the Copr with the DNF, so you can, when you install DNF plugin score, you can just easily write DNF Copr enable your name / name of the project, and it will download from the Copr the repo file, install it into your file system, and then you can DNF install your packages, or even yum install, but I didn't write that plugin for yum, as yum will be obsolete very shortly. So for the enable of the, or disable the project, you need DNF, but then you can use it with all the tools you have in Fedora, which install or remove packages. We have tools Tito or Grok, which allows you to, from your Git repository, create the source RPM and submit it to Copr and wait for the result. So if you have your own project and you want to submit it to Copr via command line interface, you can either use Copr CLI, which is low-level interface to Copr, or use one of these tools which create a tar file and source RPM and send it to Copr, invisible to you. Michal Serb wrote the Jenkins plugin, which allows you to, when you have successful tests, and your Jenkins passed all the tests, then you can call the action which is provided by this plugin, and which create the source RPM and submit it to Copr. So hopefully, if you use it Copr for nightly builds and all your tests pass, you can say to user, okay, all the tests passed, and your bug which you reported yesterday is fixed in this Copr repository. Please use this Copr repository by DNF Copr enable, and check the new package and report us if the bug is actually fixed or not. What is the future of the Copr? As I said, we have big problems with the internal OpenStack instance. So Kevin Fenzi with Smooth were in our Phoenix data center last week and installed new machines there. And we are right now installing new OpenStack instance, which should be hopefully installed in a few days, and we will start migrating to this OpenStack, and I hope that it will behave nicely, as most of the bugs we are, or all the bugs we are experiencing are already fixed in the released OpenStack release. The new machine have more storage. So we can do some fun stuff like creating Docker image beside the YAML repositories, allow to upload source RPM, so you don't need to provide just the URL. We are working on package signing. We will use OBS sign daemon. So on the way, so hopefully before the summer finish, we should be able to sign packages in Copr. It will be done that way that each project will have its own key. The private key will be automatically created for you, and you will have no access to that. And you will be provided by the public key, which will be hopefully installed automatically. I'm not sure if by DNF enable command, or if we provide all the GPG keys as in one packages into the main Fedora. That's to be discussed. But yeah, we will have signed packages. Last but not least, we are actively working on adding new architectures, mostly ARM. We have some 32-bit ARM already in the rack. So once we migrated to new OpenStack instance, we will work how to get provisioning and or spinning up a virtual machine in those ARM machines. And we already have code in Copr, which allows are done by Adam. Thank you. Which allow us to spin up and do the work separately in Intel branch and ARM branch. And if things will go, we will maybe provide ARM 64 bits as well. That's unsure yet. And Dan Horak is promising me for some time the PowerPC. So I'm not sure what's the current status. I will ask him after the presentation. Or I will ask him right now. What's the status of the PowerPC?
It should be better now because KVM works. So we should be able to start virtual machines based on KVM, and libvirt and everything. So it should be better off getting the hardware to the data center.
Which will be?
We will discuss it
in January or something like that? because that's the next visiting location. Okay, so we are working on that. So. And that's all I prepared for you. So now is the question time.
So I have two questions. So why use VMs to mark the projects to the children and the source of that? So why you guys spin up a VM? And that's the first question. And the second question is, OBS does almost the same thing. It runs VM.
What?
OBS.
OBS. Yeah. Okay, I will answer. So the first question is why we use virtual machines in Copr. Well, that was designed by SET, and the reason was that in Koji, in Fedora, we don't allow it to build for general public, which is not quite true because you just need a Fast account. And then all the packages which go to Fedora goes through the review, so you can expect that those packages are somehow nice. But in Copr, you just need Fast account and immediately start building and providing Copr repository. There was fear that you can behave badly and try to attack our infrastructure to Copr. And because there are known attacks, how to escape from root, that you can somehow attack the builder, and if somebody else will start building packages on the same machine, you can get into their root and attack on their packages. So SET, when it was created, the architecture decided that it will be much safer if we just spin up the machine, virtual machine, build the packages there, fetch the result, and then terminate the machine. So, you know, when you are starting building the packages, you know that it's a fresh machine and no one was there, so you can better trust to the result. And the second question was if OBS use virtual machine as well. Yes, although they use quite different approach. As I said, they use the build script which is called build, and they prepare the image on the backend. So they resolve the package dependency on server side, install all the dependency needed for the build in the image, then spin up the virtual machine from that image, and then fetch the result, which is quite different from our approach when we just install minimal machine, and then we put mock which download all the packages directly on the server. So that was the reason and the fear that the OBS can produce a little bit different result than the Koji.
So that's the main reason that Copr doesn't use OBS.
Yes. There are several other smaller results, but that was the main reason. And fixing that would require non-trivial amount of time, probably 1 year or so. And we wanted something right now, in the past year. So I still didn't abandon the idea to use OBS one day, and Suchý guys are very friendly to this idea, and even Adrian or somebody else, I'm not sure who was that, done proof of concept work that you can, by configuration directive, say that OBS the builder will use the mock. So this argument start to fade up. So And I have one student, and he's working for master thesis, which is get OBS into Fedora. So right now he's working on getting all the dependencies. He's worked into the Fedora. He have it under package review right now. He worked on the OBS sign daemon, which needs patch GPG to tool, and we discussed with Werner whether he accepted patch or not, which we just last week rejected. So we will have to maintain separately. But Tomáš Mraz, who maintained PGP in Fedora, agreed to accept this patch into Fedora. So we can use the GPG from Fedora since 2 hours ago, and not maintain our own GPG for Copr or for OBS, but for Copr as well, because Copr will use OBS sign daemon for the package sign.
So you're using some daemon for signing. So will the signing happen automatically?
Yes.
Yes, that's great. So it's not like now that the release engineer or somebody must come and tell, yeah, sign these packages. It will just happen.
It should happen automatically when you finish package building. So I'm not sure if it will be before creatable or after creatable, probably before. And we send the package to the signing machine. Actually, the designing worked the way that we just count the digest of the package, the same way as GPG do that, and send the digest to the signing machine, which will be separated from the front end and back end. The signing daemon will sign just based on the digest and send the result back, which allows us performance improvement, because if you have 1 gigabyte big RPM file, you don't need to move it there and back.
Okay.
So I have actually some status update for you. So we at OpenStack actually don't use it just for the test days, and we are like building all the equal packages in Copr, which are then RDO. So we like use it as a like full-fledged build system now. We're dependent on it, so this is for. And I wanted to ask if you know which release of OpenStack will be on the new release. Will it be iSOS?
Yeah, that sounds.
Okay, great.
And which one were you using?
Great, great.
RDO.
Yeah, but what version are you on to right now? What version of it?
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's Grizzly actually.
Yeah, Grizzly, probably. Actually, it was installed in some past days manually,
Let's forget about these days.
and somehow, so we have in Fedora infrastructure old system installed by Ansible script. So if it goes down, we can quickly reprovisioning and configure in just a minute. That apply for all the machine, but the OpenStack instance, because it was done as proof of concept in past, but it's still used. So if something will break there, we would have hard time to restore it manually. So I'm praying that nothing will break till we have the new open instance, which we obviously install using the Ansible script. Ansible, which uses Packstack, which uses Puppet, so it's a little bit complicated, but yeah, it will be automatic.
The OBS sign, does that depend on the rest of OBS, or is it independent?
It's completely independent.
And
Separate service, can be separate machine.
it does it support like an HSM module? Can you sign with hardware encryption, or do you have to keep the key on the server?
I don't know right now, so I don't know. Other questions?
So with the other build systems, we always had a problem that the mock change root is actually created with the RPM version on the builder, which is typically some old RHEL version, which cause all kind of problems if you use newer packages which use new RPM features. So does Copr solve this? Do you have different builder images for different versions of operating systems, or is this still an issue?
No, the virtual, the builder is actually Red Hat Enterprise Union 6 right now. So when you spin up, you get the RHEL 6 and we get the mock there most recently. Several days we impulsively use even our own patch, not yet released mock because we hit some problems, so we have to immediately create a patch. And the same day I committed to do the master. But yeah, we use, right now we use the mock from Apple testing, from RHEL 6, yeah. So we don't have Fedora Builder, Fedora 21, 20 Builder, so.
So I have one more question. Is there
Oh.
if I want to interface with the Copr API, like the recommended way now is just to implement it by myself, right? Because the Copr
Implement what?
The client for when I want to interact with the Copr CLI, there is not like reusable module for interacting with Copr, right?
You have Copr CLI online?
It's like, but it doesn't like pass data structures. It is like prints to be standard.
Yeah, so it communicates via JSON, which is supported in
But
most.
there is no like Python module library which you can reuse to communicate.
No, but if there will be some requests for that, I think Adam is just making the notes right now, so
I think we can make it.
well, yeah, write to Copr dev mailing list and
It's not underway. I mean, like,
not underway.
Considering writing it, so I just want to ask you if someone is working on it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Your question?
So the VM, the OpenStack VM is the 6 machine, and then you use mock that to make the thread one. Is that
Yeah, right. Mm. Some other question? No, then thank you, and if you will have some questions, we will have some question later. Don't hesitate to grab me here. You will need some. Goodbye.